Hello, my name's Emily, and I'm a 29-year-old mom to a son named Jeremy. He is the light of my life, and I'm so happy to call him mine. Unfortunately, there was a point in time when this was in question, and I was put in a dilemma by my husband, Richard. Ever since Richard and I had Jeremy, he'd been colder and more distant. This coincided with his sister's awful diagnosis that she received at the hospital. Anna was infertile. This news came as a big shock to everyone, especially because Anna wanted children of her own. But alas, her hopes were dashed when the doctors found out this awful news. It was indeed disheartening, and Richard and Anna were super close, so it was also negatively impacting Richard. Part of me believes that the reason why he grew cold and distant towards us, and Jeremy in particular, is because Jeremy reminded him of what his sister couldn't have. Perhaps every time he saw Jeremy, he was reminded that he wouldn't have any cousins to play with because he couldn't. Unfortunately, the distance and coldness continued to grow and grow until we were living with a man that we didn't even recognize anymore. Mommy, why is Daddy being so mean? He doesn't want to play anymore. Does he hate us? Sweetie, he doesn't hate us, not one bit. He loves us so much. He's just got a lot on his plate right now. I hated feeling like a liar to my son. The truth was, I didn't even know if Richard still loved us. He didn't even make an effort to cater to us for our birthdays when they arrived. I could allow him to forget my birthday, but forgetting Jeremy's? That was unforgivable. Jeremy was devastated. Why did Daddy forget my birthday? Don't you worry, I will talk to him about it, and he will make it up to you. I was livid. I had to set this man straight and knock some sense into his head. How dare you forget his birthday? It was the one thing that you could do for him since you are no longer around. What are you talking about? Jeremy's birthday. How could you forget? It was the one thing I asked of you. Look, I'm sorry, okay? I just have a lot on my mind. I can't bear to be around that kid. He just makes me think of my poor sister and her awful situation. I get that you love your sister and you're mourning her situation, but you also can't continue to neglect your responsibilities here at home. We have a son together. You should love him and care for him, no matter what. Look, you don't have siblings, so you don't get it. Anna is my twin sister, and I love her to death. We were supposed to have kids so that they can play together and we can strengthen our bond as siblings. So the only reason why you had kids is because you wanted to be twinned with your twin? That's one of the weirdest things I've ever heard. Why would you do that? It's our special sibling pact that we made. You wouldn't understand. So, the reason why you forgot your son's birthday was that you were upset that you couldn't fulfill a sibling pact? Okay, look, I know that things haven't been the greatest between us lately, but I'm currently in the works of finding a solution to all of this. Okay, what's the solution? I'll tell you when all of the important parties in this situation are present. The next day came around and it would change my life forever. I was honestly so upset with everything that transpired this day. Richard had decided to come home from work a bit early and he brought with him a special surprise. Hello everyone. Emily, come see who I brought with me. Oh, Anna, lovely seeing you. It's been a long time. How have you been holding up? I've been well. I'm excited about today's discussion. Oh, Richard hadn't told me that this discussion would come so soon. Time is of the essence, Emily. Let's get straight to it. We all gathered in the living room and settled into the couches before Richard announced what I considered the worst possible thing he ever could have said to me. As we all know, Anna isn't okay. Rachel, I can't tell you how many sleepless nights I've had just thinking about your predicament. It shakes me to the core. Ask Emily. Well, okay. Yeah, I can say that I've noticed Richard has been distancing himself from Jeremy and me. Yes, yes, I have. I won't deny it. I can't deny it any longer. And it's because I figured out the solution to all of our problems. Emily, you know that the reason for my distance is because of Jeremy. I simply can't bear to look at him knowing that my dearest sister is more deserving of being a mother than I ever could be as a father. So I was talking to Anna one night, and we decided that to reestablish peace and harmony within our home, as well as making Anna happy and content in motherhood, I'll give our son to her to have and cherish. What? Isn't he such a wonderful brother? Were you two inhaling toxic fumes or something? How many fingers am I holding up? Be serious, Emily. I am being serious. I mean, what sort of question is that? Anybody who would even dare to think that doing that is okay is definitely not all right in the head. At this mention, Anna looked dejected, and of course, Brother Dearest had to come to the rescue. Listen, Emily, I'm not in the mood for your shenanigans. Me neither. How could you even say such a thing, Richard? What would Jeremy think? He already believes that you don't love him. What is it going to look like when you ship him off to someone who isn't his mom? But I am his mom. Excuse me? I was ready to charge right into her. The thought of her being hospitalized and me in jail flashed before my eyes, but I didn't care about the consequences. She had to be taught a lesson. Seeing the tensions rising, however, she decided to sugarcoat her preposterous ideologies. I just mean that, look, listen, Emily, you're a wonderful girl. Do you remember on your wedding night you were feeling nervous, and I told you that everything is going to be all right because you and Richard were made for each other? Well, I feel in some deep and maybe even crazy way that Jeremy is my son. My twin brother and I share many things, including soul ties. What I'm saying is, I have a soul tie to your son because my brother and I are so connected that we are practically the same person. Do you understand? I understand that I'm about to knock your teeth down your throat if you keep spewing nonsense. Emily, calm down. Think about it. Really think about it. Why else do I feel like I don't have a connection with Jeremy? Gee, I don't know. Maybe it's because you actively avoid communicating and connecting with your son? Or it could be that he was never meant to be my son in the first place. He was always meant to be Anna's. I think I'm about to pass out. You wouldn't understand. You don't share a connection like we do. You two are sick. If I hadn't made it clear enough, there is no way in hell that you're going to take Jeremy from me. You'd have to kill me first. If you don't do this, I'm sorry, but we're going to have to get a divorce. What? Are you being serious right now? Are you hearing the words that are coming out of your mouth? And I'm being so serious too. If you don't agree with this new arrangement, I'm divorcing you. And because I have way more money than you do, I'll get custody of Jeremy. We could do this the easy way or the hard way. I got up and spat right in Richard's face. You want to get a divorce? Fine, let's do it. You'll be doing Jeremy and me a favor. Your family is unwell. So as a final piece of spousal advice, I urge you two to seek some serious help and some strong prescription medication to help you with your delusions. I'm glad to finally be rid of you. I wish I saw the real you sooner. See you in court. And with that, I hurried to Jeremy, who was sleeping in his room. Mommy, what's going on? Hey, sleepyhead, I'm so sorry for waking you up, but we need to go. Go? Go where? Well, because you're my special baby, I wanted to spoil you. Do you remember that hotel we went to a couple of months ago? Uh-huh. The one with the pool and the monkey bars? The very one, baby. We're going to go there right now, but you have to be very quick in packing your things, okay? Mommy will help you, but Mommy also needs to pack. What about Daddy? Can Daddy help us? Or is he too busy again? Daddy can't come with us to the hotel today, sweetie. Why not? I want Daddy to come. I know, baby. Maybe sometimes we can come to visit Daddy at home while you and I are having loads of fun at the hotel. Okay. Jeremy was obviously devastated. His little mind couldn't even begin to comprehend the idiocy I witnessed today, even if I tried to tell him the whole truth. As if I was on autopilot, my body began to move hastily, packing up our essentials and heading to the car in the garage. As I was beginning to pull out of the driveway, I saw Richard and Anna in the driveway, attempting to stop us, but I didn't care. I drove off at full speed, silently waving goodbye to a life I once knew. Jeremy and I arrived at the hotel and began to lodge there. As much as I tried to keep him entertained for the week that he had already spent there, his cries for his father grew and grew each day they were apart. I didn't know what else to do. I knew that I had to face my demons. The last time Richard and I talked was when I heard that horrid news a week ago. He didn't even bother to text or call or check up on us. Anna, on the other hand, was appearing to be the good cop in this situation by letting me know how worried they were for us, and that I needed to come back home to sort this issue out. But in my eyes, there was absolutely nothing to sort out. What sort of maniac proposes such a thought? I was still trying to rack my brain, but the first thing I needed to do was to talk to my baby. Jeremy, my darling, I know you've been asking about Daddy a lot lately, and well, there's no easy way for me to say this, but Daddy is trying to take you away from me and put you in the hands of Auntie Anna. Oh, that's fine. Oh? Yeah, for the weekend, right? I want to sleep over with Daddy and Auntie Anna. No, baby, that's not what I mean. Daddy and Auntie Anna are trying to take you away from me forever. Forever? But I don't want to stay with her forever. I know, baby, and that's why I brought you here, so that we can avoid you being taken away by them. I'm scared, Mommy. Are they going to take me away from you? You listen to me, all right? As long as I'm breathing, no one will ever so much as think to take you away from me again. Do you hear me? I am always going to be with you. Whether or not Jeremy's fast reception of the news was due to a lack of understanding or an abundant and sufficient enough understanding, I will never know. I just knew that I was grateful for his apparent cooperation at the time. You know what they say, speak of the devil and he shall appear. Well, just as Jeremy and I had finished up our emotional and deep conversation, Richard called. I discreetly answered it. These games have run long enough. You know, the reason why I let you go that day is because I was being gracious. Yes, Emily, you should be thanking me. I thought that you'd have a couple of final days with your son before he goes to his rightful mother. But I'm afraid now my patience has worn thin. You're sick, and you're going to rot for what you're trying to do. You'll fail. You will always fail when it comes to doing what's best for Jeremy. Tell me where you are right now. I'm coming to get the kid. I'd rather walk on hot coals than tell you anything about my whereabouts. Jeremy isn't going anywhere unless it's with me. You got that through your sick and diseased skull? Grr, I'll see you in court, Emily. I didn't want to do this, I really didn't, but you forced my hand. I'm going to ruin you. You'll never see him again, I swear it. Game on, Richard. You'll regret this. I hung up the phone, panting and bewildered at just how quickly my life seemed to have turned upside down. I just wanted to do what's best for Jeremy. That's what I always wanted to do. But for some reason, Richard and Anna just couldn't see that. I started to think about how I can best handle this situation that ends up with me winning and Richard and Anna losing, big time. I paced and pondered and pondered and paced, and then it hit me. I began racking my brain for possible password combinations. I was going to get a little dirt as leverage. Richard was right earlier when he said that he would most likely get custody of Jeremy. When you have friends in high places, it's easy to sway the court of law in whichever direction one sees fit. I, unfortunately, had no such connection, so I was going to have to get dirt on Richard that was so wild, so big and crazy that no amount of schmoozing would get him a lighter sentence hearing. I was logging into his email, trying many different things like his birthday and my birthday. Even Jeremy's name and birthday came up to be incorrect. Then it hit me. I typed Anna's name into the box, and what do you know? It worked. It was getting spooky how obsessed he was with his sister. Even though I went into his account being wary of his suspicious behavior with his sister, nothing could have prepared me for what I was about to see. When I typed in Anna in the search bar, I was bombarded with myriads of email chains and threads between them. There were thousands and thousands of conversations, and when I opened a couple to see what I'd find, I was completely petrified. In those email threads were Richard and Anna appearing to be engaging in some shady stuff, to say the least. As I dug deeper and deeper, it appeared to be some sort of occultist practice that they were engaging in. There were a bunch of scary pictures of seemingly random objects, and I noticed that all of their emails ended with, "Praise be to higher brother." Were these two part of some cult? As I continued to search for answers, it genuinely appeared that way. They were talking about some scary things like the Illuminati and the government. They had emails that were detailing some conspiracy theories. And last, but certainly not least, they were talking about making a sacrifice to this higher brother. My gut told me to search Jeremy in the search bar, and part of me wished I hadn't. There were hordes of emails, specifically between Anna and Richard, talking about Jeremy. Not only were they talking about whisking him away from me, but they were also planning on recruiting him and indoctrinating him into this sick practice. To say I was flabbergasted would be a complete understatement. But most of all, I was completely horrified. I was shaking with fear with all of the disturbing things I saw. I knew what I had to do. I had to expose this sick behavior so that Jeremy wouldn't be taken away from me. I gathered all the details I could and contacted my lawyer. I also accidentally leaked the news to Twitter, where people who were eager for the drama spread it far and wide. Before the day was done, the news had already garnered thousands of views. I was receiving messages and calls from both Richard and Anna, but I ignored them. Their angry death threats, I guess they suspected that I did this, only added fuel to the fire of justice that was about to consume them. Fast forward a couple of months, Jeremy and I moved out of the hotel to live with my mom, and the divorce proceedings were finalized. During the divorce, Richard was being tried for plotting to commit child endangerment, alongside his oh-so-lovely sister, of course. He's being tried with irrefutable evidence of what he plotted to do was so huge that no amount of bribing or schmoozing he wanted to do would help him reduce his sentence, let alone have custody over Jeremy. Richard and Anna did indeed do some jail time for their crimes, and I, in turn, was given the house to live in with Jeremy. He was all mine, as he always was. After discovering just how awful his father actually was, that blind love that innocent Jeremy had turned into logical aversion, my baby was learning that not everyone in his life has his best intentions at heart, even the people who are supposed to. Sometimes, especially at the beginning of the sentence, to rub salt in those already sore wounds, I would visit the penitentiary and pay a visit to my dear old ex-husband. You did this to me. No, Richard, you did this to yourself. I just wanted to sit and watch you crash and burn. Look, I'll change. I need you to go on the stand and say that you discovered that what you found was fake and that someone is conspiring against me. I can't be in here any longer. Oh, honey, it's been 7 days and you're supposed to be here for at least 5 more years. I'll get you for this. You'll rue the day you met me. If you so much as try to take Jeremy from me again, I'll dig up some more dirt and make sure you never leave this place. Got that? And with that, I would laugh my way out of the prison, all the while being grateful for the way that things turned out for me in the end. Because of the fame that was garnered overnight regarding Richard and Anna, who are now being dubbed as the sinister siblings of the sect, I was able to go on many interviews and even get various brand deals to share my story. I did this so that I could have a stable income to support my new single mom lifestyle, as well as obviously help those who needed to hear a story like mine. People think that this sort of thing can't happen to them. Trust me. I'm always of the belief that I was a very average lady with nothing crazy going on in her life. But here I am, surprised and shocked that something like this could happen to me. I hope you all learned something. Take care.